And you're going to get Keith's live?
Yeah, I'm going to work on it.
Thank you. Good Friday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us on Real Talk with Keith Smith. It's an absolute pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille Network on a show presented by Yes Realty Partners, trusted firm in this game we call real estate. Yes Realty Partners. I know firsthand with our family, multiple homes purchased and sold with the guidance and counsel of Keith Yonna Smith and the team at Yes Realty Partners. Find them online and know that you can count on them. Today's program is a good one. We have a lot of data that we're going to get to, data that's in my hands right now. Basically 10 months into the year, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to break it down by county in Central Virginia: Albemarle County, Augusta County, Buckingham County, Charlottesville, Fluvanna County. You name it, we have a county with data, DOMs, sales transactions, median values, and we're going to compare and contrast the amount of transactions, the median values, the DOMs, from a 2024 standpoint to a 2025 standpoint, year to date. So basically 10 months into the year. It's going to be very fantastic information for you, the viewer and listener, to learn from. We encourage you, the viewer and listener, to offer perspective and to chime in when you are ready, and I see the comments are already coming in. Like and share the show. Like and share the show. Judah Wickower's studio camera, if you do not mind. And then we will welcome the star of our show, who's always on time and always organized, one of my favorite people, Keith Smith, freshly caffeinated. My friend, good Friday morning to you.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm sorry, folks. I needed some caffeine. And the line was long.
That's good. That means they're doing well.
And it's a little cold out.
It's cold out there.
It's
Whoa.
when the temperature drops a wee bit, you get folks to come out for coffee.
37 degrees in Ivy this morning.
Ooh. I think we hit below 32.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we actually had frost on
We had frost too, but I didn't see it below 32.
we had frost on the pumpkin. Isn't it like a saying or something like that?
Frost on a pumpkin?
I don't know.
What's the frost on the pumpkin say?
I don't know what
Here, I got it's great to see you, Keith.
Yeah, go ahead. You gotta. What do you want to jump off at, my friend?
I tell you what, you got some fantastic data.
Yeah, we do.
I've been teasing the data for the viewers and listeners.
Thank you.
And we got comments already coming in on the data that read your posts.
You know, I just got to say this. I don't realize how blessed I am until you just have random people in the street talking to you about seeing the show and the data, and thank you for doing it. And I'm like, oh, geez, what show were you talking about on that? But it was really awesome. But I really wanted to kick off is a plug for next Friday.
Oh, next Friday's Halloween.
Next Friday's Halloween.
Real Talk will take place on Halloween.
And we're going to have Batman, Robin, Captain America, and a surprise superhero / villain. We haven't quite been.
Oh, I thought we named him Hellboy.
No, that's what we talked about. But
is it not Hellboy?
We don't know.
Okay.
No. This is going to be a surprise. So we don't know if we're going to have a villain or we're going to have a superhero. So this is pretty raw stuff here in Real Talk with Keith Smith. But look, I
hope it's a villain.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I hope it's a villain.
And the alter ego will have fun with being a villain.
Encourage whoever it may be to be a villain.
Yeah. Shout out to Holly. She's not going to be able to watch today, but she said she's going to watch YouTube and go ahead and watch the Batman and Robin show.
Holly Foster and Henrico?
Yep.
She's the best.
Holly Foster. So what did you interpret of this data when I ran in there?
Well, let me ask you this. Before we get to the data, homes that go pending over the next 2 weeks, they'll still close in 2025. What is the threshold generally timestamp?
That's yes and maybe no yes.
Well, that's what I'm questioning. What is the deadline that you have to go pending by for closings to be registered in 2025 and not fall in 2026?
Yeah. So of course you're going to know me well. You know me well enough.
I know it's not a definite answer, but a roundabout.
It's not a simple answer.
Yeah.
Because
Because the holidays throw everything off.
and when they fall,
Yeah, right.
well, we know,
course.
right? We know Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday, right? But Christmas
Yeah.
also where it falls.
Let's see. Christmas this year is going to take a business day falling on a Thursday.
So pretty much,
Which means that the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are done for that week.
so pretty much Thanksgiving week, Christmas week, you can pretty much write off.
Yep.
Right. I'm literally working through this right now with a couple of contracts we signed with the land trust that we're trying to close before the Thanksgiving shutdown. If not, then it's going to be the first week of December. But you're about 2 weeks away from it not really happening
Yeah, that's what I
this year, right? You know, if you don't have it under contract, you know, no later than the first week of November, it's just going to be hard because you're going to lose a week at the end of November, right? Everybody's kind of shut down, and depending, I mean, you got two things: you got the people that actually perform the work, and then the buyer and the seller. Do they really want to be moving out on Christmas week, or moving in on Christmas week, or something that close? So we're getting close, about 1 to 2 plus weeks. Depending. Cash deals will obviously close.
Bill McChesney, there's frost. When there's frost on the pumpkin, it means fall is really here.
Yeah.
The more cold snaps, the quicker the leaves will change. I noticed driving into
And the wind makes a huge
into
difference.
Charlottesville from Ivy today that the leaves had very much changed. Neil Williamson, president of the Free Enterprise Forum and one of the best friends of Captain America, Neil Williamson.
I think he knows them well.
He knows Captain America extremely well. In fact, they may play golf often together at Green Hills Club. Neil Williamson says, "When the Frost is on the Pumpkin" is a collection of poems by James Whitcomb Riley, first published in 1911. The book, officially titled When the Frost is on the Pumpkin and Other Poems, is a celebration of rural life, the changing seasons, and the simple joys of autumn. Thank you, Neil.
You know what? You never know what's going to come across the fingers of Neil, right?
What'd you make of that Violent Crown sale, Neil? I know you disagreed slightly with my take on it, but what'd you make of the Violent Crown sale?
So before we do that, we'll let him type that in. So since we're going to have Superhero next Friday, I kind of wanted to close out the month a little earlier and try to take a look at what's going on. I know we've been talking about Charlottesville's year over years, right? And the numbers we're going to play around that's in my post today are all single family detached, includes new construction. I've also added a couple of new areas into it, Augusta County, Waynesboro, just to kind of take a look at what's going on that neck of the woods. On that end of it, I also got a Buckingham in here. Little caveat on Buckingham, you know, it's a dual MLS. So what we're looking at is just what's available in.
Also with is it the Farmville MLS, if memory serves correctly?
Yeah, and there's something coming our way for real estate agents that are watching. I can't get into too much specifics of
You've
it.
kind of alluded to it in the past.
I have somewhat
Is
alluded
it tied
to it.
to a word that rhymes with light?
No,
It's not tied to bright.
no.
Okay.
It could be.
Okay.
But you know, I'm going to give a shout out to Carr.
Oh, you're giving a shout out to
I want to give a shout out to Carr, right? And I can't really go into too many details on it, but keep an eye out. They're going to be releasing some awesome abilities for us real estate agents and members of Carr to be able to actually do business in the surrounding jurisdictions, right? So it's their story to tell, their story to release. And the reason I'm throwing this caveat out there, right, is like Buckingham, we'll be able to get better data on Buckingham. We'll get better data on Richmond, better data on some other surrounding jurisdictions, which, let's face it, you know, it's fly to you qualify now. You know, that's the reality. But anyway, Charlottesville, we are below, as of this morning, 6.1%. If everybody remembers Friday.
Year to date,
Remember Friday, we're at 5.8.
median values.
So we got a little bit better then we got a little bit worse. So I think you're going to be looking the year closing out closer to that negative 6% year over year.
That's no bueno, Chico. And why that's no bueno, Chico, that Charlottesville median values in 2025 for 240 transactions, $563,000. In 2024, for 225 transactions, $600,000 the median value. That's a drop in price of 6.1% the median value. Putting that into perspective, ladies and gentlemen, is the uptick we're seeing in Albemarle County.
But
What's the Albemarle County uptick, median value?
But let's stay on Charlottesville for a second.
Okay.
But here's the somewhat good news.
Uh-huh.
They're up in sales almost 6%, almost 7%. So as
15.
6.7%.
Yeah, 15 transactions.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to play the percentage game.
240 versus 225. It's 15.
All right, thanks for taking the
Yeah.
the wind out of my sails. But it is
The bigger issue is the drop in price when the neighboring jurisdiction is positive to the tune of what? 4.3%.
4.3%, but they're flat on sales.
Yeah.
0.1%. So they're pretty much flat. Literally one unit more. Days on market are they're up about 18%.
I expected
year over year.
Albemarle County to have a more significant appreciation in value.
Well, I'm telling you, this is where we're standing at the moment. This
Yeah.
is the median sale. It includes new construction, right?
I get that. If
but-
it did not include new construction, would that number be higher?
Probably no. New construction's been valuing a little bit higher.
Okay.
A little bit higher. That's a great question. I would have to physically go through it and double check it. What I try to do is consolidate it even
I
so
see.
we
You
can
did it the right way.
so we can see all the way across the board. But it's interesting. Buckingham had a huge increase in value, 12.2%. Now the sample's a little small, right?
Yeah.
It's only 54 sales, right? Again, because we don't have that bleed over. And I'm hoping in the first quarter of next year, we'll be able to get better data across the board, which I'm confident is coming our way. City of Charlottesville down, Fluvanna, my home counties, at the moment it's just a rock star. We got 5.5%, little over 5% increase in sales, little over 7% in value. Greene County, we're up 6%, up 21% in sales, but that's purely new construction. Louisa is down in sales about 3%, but up about 3.5%, so that's kind of balancing out. I also was able to do Madison County this time, and I just trying to grow our footprint a little bit. Sales were way down, 19%, almost 20% down in sales. And they're down about 4% in sales price. Again, this is one of these counties that have bleed overs of different MLSs in it. So these numbers are purely ones that are in the car thing. Nelson is down 3.7%, but up 9% in sales. Here we go, Waynesboro. We're up 7.5% in sales, and we're up 5.7% in value. So we jumped from 212 sales in 2024 to 218. A lot of this is new construction moving us forward. Augusta County, 3.4% in price increase. Sales have jumped 16%. So what's this telling us? It's telling us, price matters, location matters. The counties and the jurisdictions that are producing more, right, that have more homes to new construction homes and more homes to sell are performing better than other jurisdictions.
Do me a small favor here. Give Judah your phone unlocked and open the Facebook app so he can connect your Facebook page. You have two-factor authorization on your Facebook page, and we want to make sure the show is streamed to your page because you're a popular guy and people like you, and you got a lot of followers on your page.
You are the best thing for my ego.
You're doing a good job of growing your Facebook page.
Well, thank you.
More than 3,300 followers on there.
Yeah, thank you.
Very nicely done.
Thank you. I just got big fat thumbs, and I just go on my
You
on my
do a
phone.
good job. Keith, I got a very sincere question
No,
for you.
you always do.
If someone owns a home in Charlottesville, in the city of Charlottesville, and they watch the source of anything real estate, which is Real Talk with Keith Smith, the source, anything real estate related, is this show right here. And anyone knows that. they're asking themselves this question. Why did median values in 2025 in the city of Charlottesville fall from 600,000 last year to 563,000 this year?
Median.
Median values.
Average is a little higher, but median.
Median, okay, and median's the better metric
Yeah,
to use.
100%.
When neighboring Albemarle County, that is literally in spitting distance of the city of Charlottesville, uptick from 687,000 last year to 717,000 median this year, 4.3%. You're talking a 10% plus delta there.
And it's going to continue, I think. I think it's
That's
gonna
the question that you should be, if you're a city of Charlottesville resident. A lot of people, most people, many people, their top asset in their
it's you know,
and their portfolio is their house.
huge percentage
Yeah.
more than most people do.
You guys should be concerned, and this is not hyperbole. It should be authentic concern. How do you answer that question? You may have had to answer that question this week in a very important meeting that you had.
It was interesting, that very important meeting I had for a listing in Charlottesville. Before I even opened my mouth, they knew that the values have decreased. So, you know, from a sales
Because
perspective,
they watch Real Talk with Keith
a
Smith.
listing perspective, well, it's also the vibe out there, right? There's this vibe out there. And momentum, you know, does play a little part of it. Look, why Nelson County's down is an easier
Yeah, Nelson
answer.
County is obvious.
Is an easy answer.
Yeah.
Charlottesville's a hard one, right?
Charlottesville's the epicenter of employment. Charlottesville's
Well-
UVA, it's the epicenter of
Well,
employment.
that's Albemarle County, right? You know, the geographically, Charlottesville's a rather small footprint compared to the rest of the footprints.
Charlottesville's the epicenter of Central Virginia.
But when I go and travel, I tell people I'm from Charlottesville,
Yeah.
right? I don't tell people I'm from Fulvana County. And
Charlottesville's
it's
got the hospitals, it's got the health systems.
not that I'm not proud of my county. I am.
No one knows where Fluvanna is.
Everybody knows where Charlottesville
We get
is.
it. We
I'm
get
by
it.
Charlottesville, UVA, and the
We
light
totally
bulb,
get it. Yeah.
you know, the light bulb goes off. But I think it's multiple reasons, right? You know, one can say it's the politics. One can say, you know, it's the inconsistency of rules and regulations. One could say, you know, maybe the market is just saying, I don't want to be there anymore. That's a real possibility to it. Right? I want to be. Did I do it right? Thank you. Everybody. He's awesome. And he's got his mic.
Judah, keep going. Stay focused.
Yeah,
You're making a
thank
good point.
So it is impossible to dial that down to one or two items, much like Nelson County, right? By the way,
Nelson
Fulvana-
County, you can dial it down to one or two items.
That's why I said unlike.
Yeah, okay.
I think I
okay,
said unlike.
Okay.
Where Fulvana County.
Charlottesville, I think I can dial it down to like 5 items, 4 items.
And that's a lot, right? Most people are looking for.
You're a lot nicer than me.
Most people are looking for one or two. No. That's a lot of reasons to explain.
Okay, so why would you say with Nelson County?
Well, it's all about the resort market, right? And that's pretty much it. As that goes, the market goes.
He's talking wintergreen.
Yeah. So in Fulvana, why we have such a price increase? It's because we have this one-time shot of new construction. It's going to stop. Greene County, we can predict. It's predictable, right? Because we know we have a bunch of units coming online. We know the market is going to continue to grow on it. But Charlottesville, it's just, I mean, I think you say 5, it's probably closer to 10. It's a lot.
Okay. Well, be straightforward because people count on the show. Your authenticity, your straightforwardness, and your experience. You've been doing this since 1987.
So the people I'm talking just don't want to live in Charlottesville anymore. They don't want to come here. They want to go someplace else. The why is multi-layered. They want a little bit more room. So the dynamic of the living in a downtown area is starting to change a little bit. When you start taking a look at the NAR data that's going to come out here, April-ish or so, I think you're going to see a larger movement towards the white picket fence, a little bit more room, a little bit more subdivision, a little bit more oriented. I think that's what's going on. But that's just like one portion of it. Yes. The front page news makes a difference, right? The politics make a difference. The ability to make a firm decision on something makes a difference. The health of the downtown mall makes a difference. So all these things are starting to stack up on it. And, I think new construction is going to start kicking people's butts. And I think that's what's happening here. But it's multiple reasons why. Did I do a fair job
You
of
did
that?
a good job. You did a good job. I'll
Did it align with some of your stuff?
I think 100%. I'll just be very succinct about it.
I just don't think.
Charlottesville, here's me being succinct. Charlottesville's made a lot of I'm going to choose my words carefully. I won't choose my words carefully.
So
I've made a lot of poor policy decisions.
Yeah, sure.
Charlottesville has struggled with governance, especially coming out of the pandemic. And that struggle with governance and policy and economic development coming out of the pandemic is obvious downtown. It's obvious with the housing ordinance, the camping in public places ordinance. It's obvious that they've struggled to figure out a shelter solution, although we think we found one here at Holiday Drive.
That's good news.
Okay, that's very good news. They are having
That's a home run.
They're having their lunch eaten by Albemarle County from an economic development standpoint. Emily Kilroy is crushing Chris Enkel, and Albemarle County continues to crush Charlottesville from an economic development standpoint. AstraZeneca, Rivanna Stations, Rivanna Futures, this Biotech Institute will continue to eat Charlottesville's lunch. Charlottesville really needs to look itself in the mirror and figuring out how it's going to drive economic development for a very small footprint. And I go back, if you want to revitalize the downtown mall, it's an extremely obvious thing to do. And the counselors that are watching the program, this is what you should do. Now that you have the 27,000 square foot shelter on the brink of closing and purchasing on Holiday Drive,
Well, then they need to go.
you upfit and retrofit it.
That's the
You
next step.
get it ready and you turn it not just into a shelter, but into a campus with wraparound services. And then after that, you put the no camping in public places, which is not criminalizing the
Well,
homeless.
I think
just
the theory.
straightforwardness,
I think the theory on that is if you fix that
Of
and
course.
do that, then you're not going to have the.
which is what we've been saying.
Yeah.
You get that on
So
Holiday
I don't think you
Drive.
need to actually make the ordinance because maybe.
Oh no! You'll still have to make the ordinance. You still have to make
I'm
the
just saying that
ordinance.
might be some thought process that going on. So, okay, if we have a place to put them, for these folks to recover and grow and get services.
If you
and-
buy that thing
be
and you don't do the no camping ordinance, then buying that thing is worthless. If that is purchased with taxpayer dollars and
Time
retrofitted,
will tell with that. I just don't think the political will. But I'm going to let you finish because I think
And then-
I've got a more succinct and simpler way to
once you
explain
get
what's
the
going
public,
on.
once you get the no camping in public places ordinance in play, you designate outdoor refreshment area Adora on the downtown mall.
Oh yeah, I think that's
You
always.
do a designated outdoor refreshment area where people can walk up and down only these 8 blocks with beer, wine, and cocktails from the restaurants on the downtown mall, from the Omni to the Ting Pavilion, and people will come back to downtown Charlottesville.
You might as well throw a blight ordinance in there for those areas while you're at it. If
Well,
you're,
you're not
if you're
gonna-
if you're looking for like a wish list of things, throw a blight ordinance in there. So somebody.
They're not going to take John Dewberry's skeleton. John Dewberry pays his taxes. There's no chance that they're going to be able to take his skeleton.
No, but it's become a permanent fixture.
But he's done just enough that they can't enforce blight.
No, I got that. But it's become a permanent fixture. It's kind of like when they used to do developments and there was overhead lines and people would freak out about overhead lines and eventually they never see them. Nobody sees it anymore. It's just there.
Well, tourists see it.
Yeah.
Locals don't see it.
Yeah.
The tourists certainly see it.
So I'm curious, I mean, you would know this more than I would, what the tourist dollar ratio is between Albemarle County and Charlottesville. You know, how many tourist dollars are actually generated in this
I don't
city
have
of
that off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
somebody-
I can tell you that tourism is significantly down in the city of Charlottesville, where in Albemarle County it was up.
So, look, the city of Charlottesville, which roughly has 50,000 people, something like that.
Yeah, that's back in line.
2024 has 240 sales. Fluvanna County has I think 20,000,
I'll
27,000.
confirm that for you.
Somewhere along that, have $304,000 worth of sales, and they're increasing. And the reason being, it's a sales price.
28,000 in Fluvanna.
Yeah, that's where I thought it was close. What is Greene County, just out of curiosity?
Greene County's population.
It's $385,000 median sales price, 23 days on market.
22,000 in Greene.
And
One of my favorite is Neil Williamson.
Albemarle County has, what, 150,000-ish?
I think it's less than that. I think it's 114,000. I'll give you that in 10 seconds.
So their median sales
One of my
price
favorite is Judah Wickhauer,
is-
117,000.
and their median sales price is $717. So here's going. The people that can afford $717,000 want to live in Albemarle County. The people that can afford under $400,000 are doing your Fluvanna, Greene. Hold on a second. Let me double check. I got my numbers here somewhere. Greene County is a little bit over. It's 429, but that's kind of fallen within the median average. It's kind of where the median sales price is. And I just don't think the city of Charlottesville has got the. It's going to come down to momentum and vibe and where the buyer wants to be. That's ultimately where it's going to come down to, for multiple reasons that you outlined. And I think we're going to see. I think the people who live in Charlottesville, if this 6% keeps on traveling through and becomes 12%, an aggregate number of 12 to 15%, you've just ate up 50% of your increase since 2020.
And outside of the I Love CVille Network, no one is talking about this.
It's not pleasant.
Outside of this
Nobody-
network, no one's having
nobody wants-
real talk.
Nobody wants to talk about it. Yeah. And but the city of Charlottesville has done this historically. It's kind of like Glenmore, right?
It's been a long time since it's
It
done
has
this.
been a long time.
Yeah.
It has been a long time. But if you historically take a look at Charlottesville, it does this up and down thing. And I'm going to make a note. I'm going to see what I can do going back like 25 years. My new best friend is ChatGPT 5, right? And deep search. I'll see what I can do and see what the sales numbers are going that far back. It's difficult in the car Paragon, because after 2015, 2016, the numbers are a little wonky going backwards.
Neil Williamson's got a question. He's the president of the Free Enterprise Forum. We're going to get to his. Super tight with Captain America, Neil Williamson.
Super tight as in spandex, super tight, or just
We're
super
about
tight?
to find out. We're about to find out. That's for damn sure.
So I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to that show. I can't remember the last time Halloween fell on a Friday.
I'm looking forward to having a break from coming into work on Friday, and very excited that I can tap in Robin, Batman's sidekick, to replace me.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. As much as we love data, right? And data tells the story. Sounds like what song? Who sung that? Every picture tells a story. Can't remember. My ADD kicked
So
in.
ADD. Neil Williamson.
That's like very 1980s.
Your ADD makes my ADD look like it's not even there.
Well, I think you're fooling yourself.
No,
but that's okay.
it doesn't. I'm
No,
like, I sit across from Keith, and I'm like, this guy really has ADD.
I really got it bad. Well, from what I understand, if you go back and do some research, like most geniuses have ADD.
Oh, I
Just saying.
have no doubt. I've always called it a superpower when utilized the right way. Neil Williamson says, does the new zoning ordinance have any impact on the increase in Charlottesville housing affordability? I can answer that question, but your name is on the marquee, so I have to throw it to you. I know you can answer this question. And the reason he's asking about this is because there's a settlement, as we both know, with the lawsuit and zoning. And now the city has tossed the plaintiffs a small olive branch, a traffic study, and they've allocated $650,000 of taxpayer resources.
Which,
to
by
a
the
traffic
way,
study. Is less than the lawsuit would cost until next year.
That's from a business perspective, it's a smart
but
move.
it's astronomical how much a traffic study costs.
But God. Yeah.
$650,000?
You think that's expensive? Oh, honey.
It was Todd Stewart sung that, or Rod Stewart sung that song. Roger,
There you go.
Roger Voisin wanted to let
There
you
you
know
go.
that. Rod Stewart.
You think that's
$650,000.
You think that's expensive?
From a government spending standpoint, it's not
I
expensive.
got it. Let's forget about the government.
Yeah.
Do you think that's expensive
For a traffic study?
for the city of Charlottesville?
No. The city of Charlottesville, if you can get in under 7 figures, you're You know.
Well, you just opened up the ADD brain. You just realized that's why developments are so expensive.
Yeah.
Because you got to do these traffic. But here's the thing: you're spending $600,000, with all my love, for something you don't need. But you got to do it because you're in the middle of a lawsuit.
Right. But
The
it's
city
also,
of Charlottesville VDOT does not control the roads in the city.
Yeah, Charlottesville owns its roads.
So you're just doing it.
Very different than Albemarle County.
You're just doing it to settle.
To settle a lawsuit. Yeah, but
That's a good business move.
oh, it's
Actually.
a great business move. It's a genius business move. It makes
But
me.
what's the question?
On this topic here, the plaintiffs who sued the city and took it to this far, they are looking like weak sauce, where all they're going to say is do a traffic study and we're done with this. It's either they don't want to spend any more money. It's a sad.
You ever hear the terminology? It's pretty hard to beat City Hall, right? So maybe they've just had enough, and this is a win, and we spent enough money. I don't know. I'm not in the room. Don't know the plaintiffs, but it might be just that. Okay, let's just call this a win and move on. But I don't think that was Neil's question.
No, Neil said, with the NZO, how does it impact housing affordability? And then he also wants to know, how much more do sales and values in Charlottesville have to drop until investors start jumping in the market and be like, I'm buying this for 85 cents on the dollar, 80 cents on the dollar.
The second one, I don't think is going to. You might see onesies and twosies. The only reason why somebody might jump into that if the features aren't right and the conditions aren't right on it, the number's a little bit too high, I think, for investors to get in. And then the thing is what kind of return am I going to get on it
100%. That's
over time?
my answer
over
there.
time.
Yeah.
So I don't see that happen. You might see very small cases of that, but you're not going to see a sucking in of a BlackRock or huge.
Well, I don't think Neil means
I understand
BlackRock.
that huge investor thing. But back to the NZO thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get on my soapbox. It's never been about the zoning ordinance. It's always been about the second half of the coin. So we can get this all settled and get it all done, and Roger's listening. You are not going to get more housing built in the city of Charlottesville that has an affordable tagline to it unless you fix the second side of the coin. This is really just window dressing. Unless you figure out a simple thing, right? I'll leave the where out of it. The land trust is looking at two parcels one that it owns, looking to acquire another one, right? To put together 3 duplex units, so over/under units, right? And back of the napkin,
That would be a genius move for the land trust.
the back of the napkin it's almost impossible to do it because the city just to take one low-hanging fruit, just from the erosion and control perspective. So right now we know anything over 3 requires a major site plan. But just from the erosion control, they have the city has 6,000 square feet. You disturb more than 6,000 square feet, you need a full-blown erosion and control plan, measures. This usually includes underground storage. It is a huge expense to go ahead and do it. If the city just said, okay, great, the state's at 10,000 square feet, that's where the state number is. If we just adopt the state number, that would cut months, if not a year, out of the process, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in expense, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in expense. Oh, by the way, if you do that one simple thing, now units will get built at the affordability price. Now they can start enacting, just that one simple change will change the complete dynamic. They've got to look at the second side of the coin. And all this conversation about the zoning ordinance is great, but it's not going to impact it unless you change the other side. There you go. There's my soapbox.
I like it. And I appreciate your straightforwardness.
I mean, it's not straightforward. It's true. It's the reality on the ground.
Stephanie Wells Rhodes watching on YouTube
Hey.
from the Intrastate Service Company family. Intrastate's a home's best
Your
friend.
house needs to get ready to go on market. You need to give them a call because it needs to be spot on, and they can do it.
She says it's every 7 years, isn't it, Keith? To answer your question, every 7 years? Keith's forgotten the question that he was asking. Looking for the answer. She loves the show. We love Stephanie too.
Every 7. Oh yeah, got it. The Halloween.
Yeah.
It is every 7
Yeah.
7 years. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, never said I was smart. So
You're very smart.
that's this many, right?
That's that many. That's that many.
That's right. Every 7 years. Look at
Couple of
that.
things. I think the
I'm trying to prepare myself for the stellar questions that you get asked.
The NZO is going to create potentially, I think, more student housing, more more apartment housing, but it's not going to create more housing to purchase.
You are not going to see single family either
Yeah.
attached or detached.
Yeah.
And I don't even think you're going to see multifamily units.
I think you'll see some multifamily and
Maybe
areas,
student focused.
Yes.
But I know people in that space from outside the area that are looking into here, and it's just too expensive.
well, there's some projects in the pipeline that are on West Main and Fifeville in particular.
Yes,
I mean, you got the West
but they're
Haven.
they're in the pipeline, and they're either already vested or they're at some sort of stage of that.
You got the West Haven neighborhood that's literally politicking to prevent another student tower overshadowing the West Haven neighborhood.
So there's the downside of by right. If it's by right, checks all the boxes, there's not that much you can do for it.
Have you asked your contacts, friends in some cases, that are in
I
positions,
do have a couple of them.
positions of influence and power in the city, whether they know what's going on here with home values?
Yes, but not as many as I'd like.
And do they understand the significance of what's happening here?
That's a different question. I'm going to say yes, but a lot of it depends on how well I communicate it to them. So I think
Would you say this is a problem?
I say it's a cycle in the market. How you like that answer? Huh? Totally knew that's not what you wanted to hear.
Would you say this is a problem, Keith?
Problem's a big word, right? It's a cycle in the market. I think the bigger problem is the second half of the ordinance. That's a problem, because if you are saying I think where the real problem is from a government level, without getting my local Charlottesville, and I have to do this very carefully because some of them are very close friends and I have working relationship with them. If you in your heart wish and believe that the city of Charlottesville needs more housing affordability, you're focusing on the wrong topic. It's not zoning, it's the second half. That is what's preventing projects from happening. Now, does the zoning need to be tweaked, to use our good friend Lloyd Snook's term? Yeah, of course. All ordinances need to be tweaked over time because stuff changes. Prime example is, I'll get on another soapbox where I think Albemarle County has fallen short, and I've publicly said this, is they need to get off the dime on this 80% AMI because it's not working, right? And I'll go into that later if you want me to. But where the real problem is if you want affordable housing or housing affordability, you've got to fix that other side of the coin. They understand it because I've had this conversation with them. They just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to get from understanding it to do it. And now, is it politics because they're trying to please too many people? That usually happens in politics, and not making the hard decision. But if you want to produce housing affordability and generate more units in Charlottesville, fix that second half. And if you can fix that, and it's not a lot, it's a couple of small items, right? If you can handle that, and oh, by the way, the city council has the complete authority to direct staff to do this, right? And if they can do that, then you'll see units come in the ground. then you will see affordability change in the city. But, overall market, I just think we're in a cycle where people just don't want to be in the city of Charlottesville. It's that simple.
Let us know your thoughts, viewers and listeners.
I love the sigh. I love the sigh.
That was, it was a good answer.
A decent answer.
It was a good answer.
It was a good Smith answer.
It was, you did a Smithism right there.
Yeah, well, I know where you want me to go, and I don't honestly believe it's dire, right? I don't believe it's dire.
Well, because you don't have a home in the city of Charlottesville, and your values uptick 5.6%
You know
in
what?
your county, Fluvanna.
And the other counties and all that stuff, yeah. And so the people, and I've said this before, when that number aggregately gets to 15% of where it was.
Was 2024 down on 2023?
No. So if I ran numbers, because you pushed back on me on this. I remember it because I remember when you pushed back. Between 2019 and 2020, end of 2023, there was roughly a 40% increase in value in the city of Charlottesville. That's the reason why I remember this number. So what I'm going at is if we get somewhere between 15 to 20% at the end of 2026, losing 15 to 20% of that 40%, that's when the people are going to show up. And that's when they're going to get pissed. Right now, okay, it's 6%, not a big deal, right? I've got this much equity into the home, right? I'm at 40%, right? Or wherever it was, it jumped from 2019 until now. I think it was 44% to be exact on it. They're not sweating it. But I'll tell you, the people that own a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 house, when all of a sudden they're losing between 15 and 20% of their value, if you don't think they're going to show up to meetings, you would be wrong. Right now, it's manageable. 6% is a manageable number. But if that number starts growing, that's the one. That's the reason I'm tracking it so hard. So there's your answer.
This question's coming. Jennifer is asking, why has Albemarle County increased and continues to increase in value?
Because everybody wants to be there. That's where folks want to be. That's where they want to go. There's a lot of new construction. It's where the buyer wishes to go. And it's tracking up. It's flat on sales, by the way, right? It hasn't, the total number of sales haven't changed. They're almost equal, but they're up 4.3% year over year. Days on market are up a little bit from 22 to 26, and those are medium days on markets on that end of it. So
why the flat on sales surprised me in Albemarle County is because the rate environment this year is more affordable than the rate environment last year.
So the reason they're flat is they're not increasing new product, right? There's only a certain amount of pool.
That's always the case. It's been the case for a while.
That's not always the case.
It's been the case for a while.
Yeah, we have quite a few developments that were in the pipeline that are now coming out of the ground, right? 29 North is a great example of it, on it. And they got a bunch of build out yet to do on it. So I think it's just balancing itself out a little bit. But, we've said this before, keep an eye on Neal's County. It's going to be the rock star.
That's Greene County, guys, and I 100% agree with him, especially with AstraZeneca, Rivanna Future, Rivanna Station just becoming a huge home run. That looks like a hugely successful story in the making with Albemarle County purchasing that dirt from Wendell Wood. Do you want to take some more questions?
Yeah, sure, let's do that. I want to change into something else.
People are curious of what we've been talking about and your take on Violent Crown.
To be frank with you, I never thought it was a good setup, a good buy in the first place. It just didn't seem like the right use for the property. I have not followed it enough, so you're going to have to give me some background.
It was sold.
On it. Background.
The movie theater was sold.
Yep, I got it.
So
yeah,
three benefactors purchased it.
Got it. And is it sold to be what?
Stay a movie theater.
Got it. See, I'm not up to speed on it.
7.4 million purchased, 6.2 assessed. Back in the napkin.
Do you think that's a good business move?
Judah chuckled on that. Judah and I had a back and forth on this.
Judah, chime in.
Judah thinks it is. You put
Really?
three shot.
Really?
I know. That's literally my response. Was right there to Judah.
Wow.
3 shot. I think it's one of the dumbest moves. I think it's burning money. But if you have millions and millions of dollars and you're so wealthy,
Do we know if it was a 1031?
No. It's a family foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Is what it's looking like.
Yeah.
They have significant, many millions of dollars. So 7.4 to them.
And do we know if they have a business plan to tweak it a little bit?
Keep it as it is.
By a show of hands, who goes to movie theaters anymore? Do you go?
Occasionally, yeah.
When's the last time are you on a 3 shot?
Not yet.
When's the last time you've been to a movie?
I honestly can't remember.
Yeah.
I think I went.
I have to ask my
I
wife.
think
When is
I-
the last time, sweetheart, we've been to a movie?
but if she's watching.
If she's watching. Are you watching?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's holding up the thank you note there. sweetheart.
Thank you.
When's the last time our family's been to a movie?
Last time I went to a movie theater was to watch the new Top Gun movie whenever that came out.
But did you watch that in an IMAX?
No.
Okay. Stonefield?
No,
Alamo?
I don't remember. I think it might have been Alamo.
Alamo?
Yeah. I was listening literally to a Bill Maher podcast about this very topic, about he was interviewing Arnold Schwarzenegger, talking about the industry. And I have a little bit of an in on it because Yaz is in that industry. And my brother-in-law, not my brother-in-law, yeah, I guess my brother-in-law, which is his birthday today, by the way, Jeff Wooton, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Is a producer for Viacom on it. And their whole business model has changed to in-home.
Yeah, streaming services.
It's in-home. I don't.
You want to jump in on this? You're hearing this from an unemotional man here.
An unemotional? I have an emotion.
Well, no, yesterday we had an emotional discussion.
Did I just get offended?
I didn't mean that. That was a zing on me, was it not? That was more a zing on me.
So
Yeah,
I don't have a buy-in in this argument. I'm independent.
Well, I think we're both independent. Judah's very bullish on movies.
Yeah.
I didn't
Why
say
is
that.
You said, okay, I don't want to speak for you. What did you say?
I said that you've got these 3 women who clearly have the means. They want to preserve the Violet Crown Theater because at least one of them enjoys going to see the independent movies that don't show up in other theaters.
Oh, there you go.
They've got the money.
At least access to the money.
The company that's currently running Violet Crown is seemingly bullish. Throughout the Levine escapade, they were convinced that they had a good business model, and they wanted to continue at least beyond the lease that they signed, which tells me that they're not too worried about about income in terms of people going to the movies, and the ladies that bought the place have renegotiated the lease agreement with them to go beyond what I think was 27 or 28 end date, which tells me that they're not worried about getting paid rent. And so I don't really see the downside in this.
So you and I are looking at it
unless
from
you
a
want,
pure.
My wife and I.
unless you want to tear it down and put apartments there. In which case, yeah, of course you would want to be bearish on.
The reason I was never in favor of it in the first place.
Being apartments?
No, the movie theater.
Okay.
I've been to the one in Austin and
Yeah.
I've been to one in Santa Fe. Right? Very different vibe, very different setup.
Violet Crown.
The Violet Crown.
Yeah.
Very different
I
setup.
think it was founded in Austin.
It was founded in Austin.
Yeah.
Very different vibe, very different concept. And Yonna and I are huge movie buffs, and we used to go out to movies all the time.
Right, I know that.
And
You still watch a lot of movies at home.
we watch movies at home, but particularly around Oscar season, we
Yeah.
would go out and watch the movies
Right.
because we're just huge movie fans. But it's also so much easier to do it on my theater. I got set up
movie
in
theater at your house that we all now have.
set
We
up
all
in
have it.
But
It's called a big screen television that's $300, right?
But to our good directors, feedback, this is probably an emotional buy or an at heart buy.
Yeah, of course.
It's not a business buy, right?
Right.
They're not looking at it for ROIs.
Hence the 7.4 purchase price and the
Yeah.
6.2 assessment.
Yeah.
And from
Yeah.
my standpoint, and I look at it as a real estate guy,
Yeah.
the real value here is the dirt, and the city had that assessed at 3.637.
So I will tell you what.
Last time we've been to the movies, 4 years ago.
So I will
Just
tell you.
found out from my wife.
Thank you, Lauren. I'll tell you where we do go on a very regular basis.
Paramount.
Is the Paramount.
Yeah, that's different.
We watch movies. No, we go to movies there, right? We go to live events there.
But that's different.
My point I'm trying to make
That's
is
an experience.
that's what the point I'm trying to make,
Yeah.
right?
Paramount is about an experience.
It's about an experience. It's about seeing live events. It's about seeing, we do the Opera HD Live there every season on it. We watch movies when they're or comics, so we go do that. Maybe they ought to retweak that model over there to look more like this model. Because I can tell you, when we go to events there, it's always sold out.
Yeah, Paramount crushes. But the
Always sold
Paramount
out.
is also Paramount is an experience, and it's also about
Step-
being seen.
Well, I don't know about that, but for us, it's stepping back in time.
Yeah,
Right.
being seen, experience. There's some status to it.
I don't.
The
Yeah.
Paramount.
Yeah, that may
It's-
be for some folks, but for us, it's about watching the events, right? Because it's stuff that we like, that's up our alley, right? And I just, I geek out as a builder. Just look at this structure.
Yeah,
man.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and what they've done on the renovation is unbelievable.
William says, I believe Violent Crown was Charlottesville's first eat in your seat theater.
It was. Then Alamo came.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But look, I mean, if they want to turn it into maybe an event space or
Who's going to go to an event in a
I don't know.
slanted windowless
I-
windowless room that's
I'm-
a cave that has slanted floors that are sticky?
I'm grabbing at straws here, brother. So I'm working on a white paper. Can I change gears?
Yeah, please.
Oh, unless you've got
no,
questions.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm working on a white paper. I've been asked many a times, quite a bit since the last show over the years. When was it the last time for a buyer, this hard for a buyer to buy? And I'm literally working on it, so keep an eye out on it. I'm gonna post it. At the moment, I'm up to like 8 pages, so I've got to kind of down.
When was the last time that it was this hard for a buyer to buy a house? Well, let me say this. Your white paper may be a little too late because I think
So basically, what?
90 to 120 days from now, maybe we call it 150 days from, let's call it March, this coming March, right?
I'm listening.
We're going to be in a different rate environment.
I don't think it's going to change the overall impact, though.
I think it's going to,
It's going to make it worse.
why? Because you're saying it's going to be more competitive purchasing a home?
No, I just.
You think it'll swing the pendulum to sellers? And then we got comments coming in.
No, I think you're going to see. So, I've been working on this for 3 days, and the year is 1985. And it's from a perspective of today's Gen Zs and millennials and how hard it was going to buy. And it didn't really dawn on me until I started doing the research. Guess where I was in 1985? I was in the Marine Corps at the time, but in the mid-'80s, that's where I was at. And the restriction on that was the 16, 18% interest on it. But it was also the same problem. I actually believed I would never own a home. So the psychology is a lot to say, but I'm going to take a deeper dive into it. This is not the time and place to do it, but keep an eye on it because I'm trying to narrow down year to year. Where are we at 2025? When was the last time it looked that way? And to your point, so if we're saying in 2025 it's the same as 1985 for the most part, how did we get out of that?
I would say 2024 was the same as 1985 because in 2024 last year rates were half a point to a full point
2024
higher.
was more like 1981, 1982.
2024
85 is when it started to change. So 81, 82, 83, it was a disaster. Housing was a disaster. And it started changing its way around 1985 is when it started when the market started changing a little bit, and how it actually got itself out of it, which is what I'm trying to tie together in this white paper, is we built ourselves out of it. That's what happened. Now, you're going to say, well, what about 2007, and what about the unicorn years? Well, 2007 impacted everybody, the whole country and the world, for that matter. The unicorn years really only impacted a kind of a part of the market. It's just a blip that'll never happen again.
That's COVID years is what he's talking about.
Yeah, and there's no reason to look at it. But when was the last time a first-time home buyer had such a struggle, and when did the actual things match? And the difference is then was interest, now it's price, right? And to your point, I've actually got a number here. 1985, the price to income ratio, this is the amount of money somebody has to make a year to afford the median sales price in 1985 was 3.6 to 1. Do you know what it is in 2025?
What is it?
5.4. You have to, it's 5.4 is your income ratio to purchase on it. And it's interesting, back in 1985, all in, it was cost you about 50% of your income to afford a home per month. And we're dangerously close to that number now. That's the reason why I'm comparing 85 to 2025. And the question is, how do you get yourself out of this? That's the question.
You cut rates. You're not going to build yourself out of this.
I don't think rates dropping, particularly after we just start, we'll put Charlottesville aside. Charlottesville is declining for many reasons. But when you're starting to look at these other jurisdictions that are continuing their year-over-year increase, and I expect that to continue, I don't care how low you lower your price, it's going to become that much. Your ratio isn't going to change. The amount of money you need to make, because what's happening is even though we're at $125,000 of AMI, that income isn't increasing fast enough to match the pricing. Anyway, I don't want to get into great detail.
No, I can't wait for that white paper.
But,
I think that's a whole show right there.
Well, it's going to be a whole show.
Multiple shows.
Sometime in November, but...
That's why you watch Real Talk, is for that.
Thank you. But it shocked me when I started looking at the numbers, because I really expected something different than 1985. And my head went, oh, that's right. I lived through it. And it's interesting because the Gen Zs and the millennials are blaming the boomers right now. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the boomers are controlling more wealth now than ever in the history of the country, ever. And I get it. And that's where this conflict's coming in there. But I want to take it from a perspective of, okay, guys, Gen Z, understand 40 years ago, I was you. And the difference was not necessarily the price, though it was, right? I was spending over 50% of my income at that time to afford a home. We're not quite there. We're in the low 40s right now on that end of it. But it's interesting, and maybe I'm the only one that's going to geek out about it.
No, I think that's a good one to geek out. This comment comes in from someone who's asking for anonymity. He says,
I love those.
with the Violet Crown deal, as we have established clearly a benefactor donation to the community and an art buy, thank you, and that's awesome. But he also says, here's the impact. This will be a new comp for dirt established that will ripple to assessments on the mall 18 months from now, driving up costs for all. The further impact of wealth in CVille impacting mom and pop businesses and renters.
What a great comment and approach. Yeah. And I don't know who that person is, but I bet you they got some commercial background.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's worse than that? What entity in where we live causes more problems?
UVA.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually the foundation.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Because they got money to burn.
No, they just overpay for property.
Because they got money to burn.
They overpay for property.
Yeah, because they want it.
And the problem with that sets a really bad precedent.
There's multiple problems with that. It takes the property off the tax rolls, and then it sets...
No, stop.
UVA, right. Foundation doesn't take it off.
Foundation gets base property
Well,
tax.
if they then transfer the foundation to UVA, like sometimes that happens.
It does happen.
Okay, and then it's off the tax rolls. And it creates a comp for an assessment increase.
Yeah, well, Michael Payne has been very vocal about trying to get UVA to pay its tax.
Well, how about the flats selling for $107 million?
Yeah.
Flat sells for $107 million. What's that do to the value of all other student housing towers in Charlottesville?
You know what that tells me? You know how much money that must be making?
Oh, flats is spewing money.
And it's built like you know what. You ever been in one of them? I have. It's built terribly, but that's a whole different. That's a whole different. You got kids paying $1,000.
Oh, more than that. I play squash with a fourth year at UVA that lives in the flats.
So what is it up to now?
$1,500 a month.
$1,500.
$1,500
per door.
Just for a bedroom. Yeah.
For a room.
Yeah, for a room.
We're up to $1,500.
Yeah.
That's just effing insane.
Insane.
$1,500 to put your head on a pillow. That's part of the problem.
$107 million that sells for. Let's see what that does to assessments and the tax basis for the other student housing towers.
Yeah, because
when that happens,
our chemistry was going to kick in because we don't want to confuse this the residential side because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. Well, people are watching it don't have the.
Yeah, no, this won't do the resident, but what it will do is increase rents. It will increase rents. If the flats is paying $1 million a year in taxes.
To your point, what it's going to do, it's going to bleed over to the community.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's going to bleed over to the
community.
When you're paying $1,500 a bed.
Then like a guy who owns a condo at the Villas at Southern Ridge be like, these people right over here are doing this, then I shouldn't.
Because I'll tell you right now, if my daughter was going to UVA and I needed to pay I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford $1,500 a month because that money is coming from somebody.
Yeah, it's coming from mom and dad.
Right.
They have the credit cards on auto.
No, I get that. I get that. But what's happening is, okay, honey, if you want to go to UVA, you got to find something at $500, which
doesn't exist.
Well, it's just going to go out into the neighborhood, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
It's just going to spiral out.
You find me $500 a month in a neighborhood.
I've just picked a number off the top of my head.
Okay. But that's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I know it is when my son-in-law was going to med school and my daughter was living with him, it was the same conversation, right? I wanted to be walking distance to the hospital, but they couldn't afford it. So they ended up quite a distance away in not a student neighborhood at X dollars a bed, which was at that time, which is quite a few years ago, 8 years ago, I guess, it was closer to the $500 a bed. But that's what'll happen. It'll spread into the neighborhood is how it'll go.
Bananas. What a time to be alive. Next week.
Batman, Robin,
Captain America. And it's not Hellboy? Maybe the Joker?
The alter ego is 100% up to what the alter ego wants to do.
Okay.
So this is...
Well, not in my case, it wasn't.
It was. You don't have a choice.
I know.
How cute is that? You actually think you've got a choice.
It wasn't in my case, Keith.
I went,
Evidently, Captain America and Hellboy or the Joker have a choice.
How can I embarrass him the most?
I don't have a choice. But I'm a team player.
A team player.
Yeah.
And until my producer title and credentials are removed.
No, you're executive producer.
That's how it's going to go. What are you doing this weekend?
Next week is we got a fall festival.
Still? You got multiple
My
ones.
wife loves fall festivals. And
It's a good time of
the
year.
fall festival she's watching is happening during the UVA football game. That's love right there.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good this year.
They're phenomenal. We're going to a fall festival instead of watching UNC in North Carolina at 12
Didn't
o'clock.
don't they already have a bowl bid?
Yeah, they're bowl eligible. They're bowl
That's-
eligible right now,
that's
6-1. But I am going to a fall festival instead of watching my favorite football team. But that's what you do.
So I'm going to teach you something.
That's what you do. What are you going to do, Jim?
Get your butt blown up a couple of times.
Okay.
And get really good hearing aids.
Okay.
That you connect to your iPhone.
Okay.
And you could just walk around with a smile
No,
on
I'm going to be doing that.
and listening to the game.
I'm going to be doing that on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the reason you do this is nobody knows you're actually listening to it.
Yeah.
And you just smile. I may have just
have
given away.
my Apple earbuds.
Yeah, but you can see them.
You can see them. They're very white.
These, particularly with gray.
You can't see them at all. They're fantastic.
They're gray.
How much do those cost?
So I'm blessed.
The VA covered it.
15 grand.
15. And how much did the VA pay those?
15 grand.
And you pay nothing?
I do not pay anything.
That's fantastic.
I'm very blessed.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh,
You're there. You can't even see him.
yep. Well, technically, I'm a disabled vet. Here's your opportunity. Open it up. I literally opened the door for you.
You set it up perfectly because you knew if you said it.
Disabled vet. Go ahead. Go have fun, Miller. Go ahead. Say something.
I wouldn't do that to you. I
Bullshit.
wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you.
You're a terrible. For a guy that talks a lot, you're an awful liar.
I wouldn't do that to you.
You wouldn't even look at me telling me that.
Too much respect for you.
You wouldn't even be looking at me.
Too much respect for you.
All righty. What are you doing this weekend, Judah?
I was just going to ask him that.
Going to a movie. The question about that is
good
there
idea.
any decent movies that come out that are worth going to a movie theater about?
$20 a person?
Yeah, it's insane.
Before the popcorn and the sodas?
Yeah, that's insane.
Might take my family to the movies, I'm going to drop $100.
Yeah, that's insane. What are you doing?
Alamo is $7 on Tuesdays.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
There you go.
There you go. When's the last time you've been there for a $7 on Tuesday?
Not too long ago. I think I saw
What'd you see?
Superman. That was a fun
Oh, you
movie.
see, now that
That's
that would be a movie you want to see, and I think that's how this is going to break out. Is movies that, well, I just know.
Dude, I got a 72-inch TV with surround sound,
I
a leather
just-
couch, and a fridge full of cold beer.
I just know inside baseball on that, and they're producing movies in two different ways. They're producing them specifically for the theater and for at home.
Yeah,
and it's
IMAX is maybe so. Someone had a
well, it's
really
not even IMAX. It's the way they're shooting them. They're shooting them very differently.
Someone left a genius idea on the show midweek saying that if you made the movies where there was then a question and answer session with those that are in attendance with someone tied to the movie in some capacity.
Well, it's
then
called
that
a film festival.
That creates an experience, right?
That's called a film
Right,
festival.
right. But the problem is they can't scale that model
Yeah.
every night, every 3 showings a day.
Alamo does a lot of that stuff. It's not quite like what you're talking about, but they've got special events. They've got throwback movies where they have special.
So the business model that Alamo has is very different than the Violet Crown. The Violet
No doubt.
Crown was kind of meant for the more artsy crowd.
Yeah.
Alamo is for the not that there's a difference, but is a different market. It's completely different folks to go after.
Alamo's not cheap.
Well, none of it's cheap.
Yeah.
But tell me what's not cheap
I know,
today.
it's bananas. My wife sent me a picture of going to the grocery store. It's like $160, and we got like 19 things.
I'm going to make a plug for Della Bennett and Plenty CVille.
Yeah.
My third daughter, love her to death. This is something we do a lot of. I order online food for the whole week. It's great for boomers, like empty nesters.
Because you don't cook?
I love to cook. We just don't have the time.
Yeah.
When you get home at 9 o'clock at night, you take something out. It is off the chart. She did a fish cake that I had the other day that was just unbelievable. So Google it if you're ever interested. She's just a great person, a great setup. We'll warm up the food, have a glass of wine, 9:30, have dinner, have a conversation, go to sleep.
Judah Wickhoward, Keith Smith.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to end, huh?
Real Talk with Keith Smith online.
You
at
didn't ask me what I was doing
realtalkwithkeithsmith.com.
this weekend.
Do you have a bike race?
I do not.
What are you doing?
We are doing celebration of birth of our youngest granddaughter. I say we, they are. I just got to show up
That's great.
tomorrow in Richmond. So
Congratulations.
We're going to have a party.
Lucky man.
We're going to have a party.
Very fortunate
In
man.
Richmond.
Fabulous Smith
I
family.
might sneak in a bike ride. Don't tell anybody.
Houston is going to be there with you too.
I think we might sneak in a bike ride.
Keith.
Don't tell anybody.
Smith and Real Talk with Keith Smith are online at realtalkwithkeithsmith.com.
1985.
Click the Partners tab and you will see the trusted advisors that he's personally vetted in real estate that he vouches for that can help you with your most prized asset in your portfolio, your home. Judah Wickhauer is behind the camera. The I Love CVille show is up in 59 minutes. So long, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, brother.
Nicely done, Keith Smith.
I like your shirt. What's the logo on the front?